Hi everybody, my name is Rebecca Cregan and I'm the Assistant Principal here at Horizon International School. I also oversee the Foundation Stage Department. Today I'd like to talk to you about the assessment and curriculum that takes place in the Foundation Stage and particularly talk about the changes that have taken place this year in the Foundation Stage at HIS. The discussion points I'd like to address today is our FS vision, the curriculum, particularly the new framework, characteristics of learning, what learning looks like in the foundation stage, continuous provision, the importance of play, assessment in the foundation stage, and reporting in the foundation stage at HIS. Here in the foundation stage at HIS, our vision is to ensure each child reaches their full potential through play-based activities, enabling all children the time to learn, to play, become self-assured risk takers and develop positive relationships. Using an adaptable and inspiring curriculum, children will learn their own leading to foster their natural curiosity and inquisitive skills. We want children to be happy, confident, well-rounded individuals with a love for learning. We believe in providing all children with a safe and stimulating environment that builds on each individual's wants, needs and interests. We believe that learning should be fun, engaging and suitably challenging. The EYFS framework sets the standards to make sure that children aged from birth to 5 learn and develop well and are kept healthy and safe. The changes to the EYFS statutory framework have been made to improve outcomes at the age of 5, particularly in early language and literacy. The 7 areas of learning and development remain the same. There are still 3 prime areas, which is communication and language, physical development, personal and social emotional development. As you can see from the screen, in communication and language, there used to be 3 aspects of learning. There are now 2 main aspects of learning: listening, attention and understanding, and then speaking. The focus now is on general conversation and oral reasoning specifics, and there is a big focus in speaking on new ideas and developing vocabulary. In PSED, personal, social and emotional development, there are still 3 aspects of learning and they have changed their titles slightly. We now have self-regulation, managing self and building relationships. The main changes here are that we reflect and focus on good mental health awareness, and we focus on self-regulation and awareness. Although not mentioned in the early learning goals or educational programs, teaching about oral health has also been included. Physical development still has 2 aspects of learning, however these have changed the most. We now no longer focus on moving and handling and health and self-care, as health and self-care comes underneath the personal, social and emotional development. We now focus on gross motor skills and fine motor skills. Much more detail on expectations has been added for gross and fine motor skills in the framework, e.g. getting ready for writing. Strength and balance specifically mentioned throughout the whole of the framework, and the use of the tripod grip has been added, but with exceptions allowed, and accuracy when drawing is also now a focus. As well as the prime areas remaining the same in the EYFS framework, the specific areas also remain the same, with 4 in total. And these are literacy, maths, understanding the world, and expressive arts and design. Literacy in the early years is about being understood and understanding. Early literacy skills are rooted in children's enjoyable experiences from birth of gesturing, talking, singing, playing, reading and writing. Learning about literacy means developing the ability to interpret, create and communicate meaning through writing and reading in different media such as pictures, books, logos, environmental print and digital technologies. It involves observing and joining in the diverse ways that people and communities use literacy for different purposes. Most importantly, literacy is engaging, purposeful and creative.
Hello, my name is Miss Welsh and I am the Coordinator for Literacy and Communication and Language in our FS department. As you can see from the previous slides, literacy is separated into both reading and writing, and on the slide there are some examples of some things we do in the FS department to support our children with both their reading and writing. First, I'm going to talk to you about egg words. Egg words are red words. We across the school here at Horizon use Read Write Inc, the phonics scheme, and the egg words are red words, words that cannot be blended or segmented, words that the children need to recognise just by seeing the word. These egg words are learnt at home and tested in school. There are 10 sets in total, and that means there's 50 words. Once the children can read all of the 50 words, they start back at set 1 and practice writing those words to help influence their reading so they can recognise the egg words, and writing so they can apply them when they're writing sentences. We also have visual targets. And these visual targets are for the children so they know the expectation of what they should include when they are writing. These are differentiated for all of the children as we cater to all learning abilities. We start off really basic, and then as the children learn more skills, they can add more features into their writing, such as finger spaces and full stops. We also add in a challenge to really push the children. This year we've included a thinking floor book, and in our thinking floor book we encourage the children to draw pictures, write and get creative about the topics and things they're learning. We might ask them a question on the Sunday and they write down what they think, or we as teachers would write it down, and then later in the week, once they've learnt all about their new topic or the animal, for example, then we'd encourage them to write in a different coloured pen to add what they've learnt to show progression. We've also added a big question, and this means brains in gear. And what we do is we ask the children to use their critical thinking skills to assess prior knowledge. This big question might stay the same throughout the week, and then the children can add to their answers, or it might change and scaffold the children's learning through the week to encourage them to think outside the box, to get creative, to use their imagination, to draw on prior learning. And again, as teachers, we can assess prior knowledge and maybe even encourage some of the children to talk to their friends about what they already know. We've also still kept the message centre, as you can see from the middle picture here at the bottom. And the message centre is where we ask the children to independently apply all of their knowledge. Sometimes we add symbols in there to ask them what they mean. Can they decode them? We set challenges in there. We might put out some party invitations or some postcards. And it's really where the children become independent and write about their interests. They might want to draw pictures, write a letter to their friends. So this is something that we really encourage in the FS department, to really encourage the children to draw upon their skills learnt and apply them independently to really show us teachers that they've mastered that skill.
By the end of Foundation Stage 2, children should be able to write 2 to 3 sentences independently, spell words phonetically, use some digraphs in their writing, use high-frequency words in their writing, and write sentences that can be read by themselves and others. By the end of Foundation Stage 2 in reading, children should be able to read simple sentences, apply common digraphs to their reading, read Set 1 and Set 2 tricky words, begin to reread sentences, answer simple questions about what they have read, and have an understanding of what they read independently. Every child is entitled to a strong mathematical foundation, which is built through playful exploration, apprenticeship, and meaning making. Children should freely explore how they represent their mathematical thinking through gesture, talk, manipulation of objects, and their graphical signs and representations, supported by access to graphical tools in their pretend play. Effective early mathematics experiences involve seeking patterns, creating and solving mathematical problems, and engages with story, songs, games, practical activities, and imaginative play.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Ginn and I'm the Maths lead for Foundation Stage. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how we teach maths in Foundation Stage. In Foundation Stage, we follow the White Rose Progressive Planning. This is a programme that goes all the way from Foundation Stage 2 all the way through primary. The planning is progressive and therefore the skills that children learn each year are built upon. This gives them a deep knowledge and understanding of number and shape. Although this planning starts from Foundation Stage 2, in Foundation Stage 1, the children are taught a series of progressive skills to help them access the curriculum. This includes things such as counting, saying numbers in order, and recognising some numerals. This is then built on in Foundation Stage 2, when the children learn the makeup of different numbers and they learn how to use and apply numbers in the number system. Following on from a teacher's input, the children will be involved in adult-led maths tasks. These aim to consolidate the learning or to develop new skills. During the week, the children will work with the teacher and learning assistant during these tasks. An area of focus in Foundation Stage is our maths loose parts areas. These are an assortment of natural resources that the children can use. Through these resources, they can develop skills with number, shape, and pattern. These resources are open-ended and therefore place no limitations on how and what the children learn in maths. The final area is our continuous provision. All children have access to a maths area in their classrooms. This area is made up of a series of constant resources and is also enhanced to support current topics or skills the children are learning. Children can access this at any point during continuous provision. During this time, adults will be on hand to challenge and question the children to develop their knowledge and understanding. Continuous provision is extremely important and it enables children to not only develop new skills, but to consolidate and develop their understanding of the ones they already have.
Understanding the world provides a powerful, meaningful context for learning across the curriculum. It supports children to make sense of their expanding world and their place within it through nurturing their wonder, curiosity, agency, and exploratory drive. If you are familiar with the old framework, you'll notice that the aspects of learning have changed. Today we are focusing on past and present, people, culture and communities, and the natural world. You'll notice that technology aspects have been removed and not replaced anywhere else within the curriculum. Therefore, we rely upon HIS aspects of learning for technology to be brought from our technology department within school. There's more focus on cultural understanding within this new framework and more on the past. Use of books and stories are used to develop these skills at HIS. The new framework suggests that expressive arts and design fosters imagination, curiosity, creativity, cognition, creative thinking and experimentation, and provides opportunities to improvise, collaborate, interact and engage in sustained shared thinking. It requires time, space and opportunities to revisit and reflect on experiences. Multisensory first-hand experiences help children to connect and inquire about the world. The characteristics of effective learning describe behaviours children should use in order to learn. To learn well, children must approach opportunities with curiosity, energy and enthusiasm. Effective learning must be meaningful to the child so that they are able to use what they have learned and apply it in new situations. These abilities and attitudes of strong learners will support them to learn well and make good progress in all areas of learning and development. The Ofsted Early Years Inspection Handbook states, if this is your child's first year at school, you may not know how the teacher in the class teaches your child. At Horizon, we teach in several different ways in the foundation stage. We teach whole class, part class, small groups, and one-to-one. We also teach according to children's interest and provide immersion days where the children can really explore their new topic and have lots of fun. If you are new to the early years, you may wonder what continuous provision is and why does my teacher keep talking about the continuous provision? Continuous provision looks like toys set out on a table. However, in the early years, it's not just resources that are put out, it's far more complex than that. It should continue the provision for learning in the absence of an adult. Areas of the provision should be determined by the data a teacher has on their class, linked to observations and assessment of each child, and with a wide range of challenge and support in all areas, for all children. Any child should be able to access the continuous provision and still be challenged in what they are playing with. Children do not naturally challenge themselves in play. They are more likely to return to familiar and safe play, rehearsing known, low-level skills which make them feel safe and secure. When planning continuous provision, teachers have to ensure that there is planned opportunities for challenge and skill development. Play in the early years is so important. It's one of the main ways in which children learn and develop. It helps to build self-worth by giving a child a sense of his or her own abilities and to feel good about themselves. If it's fun, children often become very absorbed in what they are doing. Children may develop their language skills, emotions, creativity and social skills. Play helps children learn essential skills such as problem solving, working with others, sharing, and much more. Here are some examples of what play looks like at Horizon International School. If you've had a child go through the early years foundation stage at any school, you'll be very used to the vertical curriculum that it has to offer and the assessment points in which the old framework used to offer too. The old framework used to go from birth to 11 months, 8 to 20 months, 16 to 26 months, 22 to 36 months, 30 to 50 months, and 40 to 60 months. As a parent, you could pinpoint where your child may be in according to the old framework. As you can see, the new Development Matters only has 3 sections for assessment. It has a 0 to 3 years framework, 3 to 4 years framework, and a 4 to 5 years framework. If your child is judged at working at age-related expectations in the 0 to 3 years framework, by the end of the foundation stage curriculum, they should be within the 4 to 5 years framework as working at expected. For your child to make better than expected progress or better than expected attainment, they'll be working at greater depth or working above age-related expectations in these areas. We no longer jump through the months of the year or the months that your child their age is. We look at the curriculum content and work at greater depth within that curriculum content. As a parent, you have the right to know how your child is getting on at school. These are the curriculum criteria, the assessment criteria in which we report on in our reports back home. In your child's report, we will always assess against the 7 areas of the curriculum which are outlined on this slide. And next to that, we will have a criteria judgment which will say whether they are working at, working above or working below age-related expectations. I really hope you found today's information useful. If you have any further questions, please do reach out to me on rebeccac@horizonintalschool.com. I'll be happy to answer any queries you may have. Thank you very much.